Difficult to say, but I think one of the largest safety improvements has been the advent of AIS, automatic identification systems. I think it has the potential to make a lot of information available to watchkeepers that was not available very easily in the past. The easy identification of ships and details of that ship's course and speed. Of course, it's, as with all these systems, you have to treat it with caution. There's always the potential for errors. It's only reliable if the input data to another ship's AIS system is accurate. But as long as one is aware of that, it has the potential to save a lot of time. One has to still be careful about the tendency for watchkeeping officers to use AIS and then the VHF as a means of collision avoidance rather than relying on the collision regulations. But another big area of safety improvement that is generated by AIS is the ability to identify small vessels, perhaps leisure vessels, fishing vessels, that are more difficult to detect on radar. There's no real substitute for collision avoidance using traditional methods of target detection, but on those vessels which don't easily show up on radar, the advent of AIS, the ability of small vessels to be equipped with Class B AIS, I think is a big safety improvement. I think the biggest safety challenge facing the industry going forward over the next 6 years or so up to 2020 is going to be its ability to have crew of the requisite quality. Ships depend entirely on their crew. The effectiveness with which they're operated depends upon crew training, crew competence and experience. And we're seeing a lot of difficulty in ship owners finding the requisite crews to meet those challenges. There are huge disincentives for youngsters to go to sea these days, not least that caused by the increased tendency to criminalise seafarers when things go wrong. And when faced with that prospect, it's easy to see why young, intelligent and youngsters of good prospect don't want to expose themselves to that risk. So I think that is going to be the big challenge. Are you going to get the seafarers? And also the issue of ship size, I think, is a big problem. Ships are getting bigger, crew sizes are getting smaller, and crew experience generally is getting less. And when things go wrong, that collective crew experience has a significant bearing on the eventual outcome. In the days when I was at sea, the bridge watchkeeping team had huge amounts of experience. You don't see that these days. And when individuals are put under pressure, then that inexperience can show in the way in which mistakes are made. My opinion of the IMO is that it's a fantastic organisation. It does wonderful work, and it's to be commended for that. If there is any criticism, it can only be in the speed with which many of the conventions that are important, the speed with which they are ratified and brought into effect. A lot of valuable time is lost in the ratification process, and it would be helpful if more work can be done there. In this respect, I'm thinking of I think there's an IMO resolution on pilot standards of qualification and training, which is still only advisory, not mandatory. I think a lot of ship owners are concerned about the frequency of casualties happening as a result of pilot error, and there's often dismay that the pilots to whom they rely on guidance are not subject to the same levels of training and certification as their own watchkeepers. I've thoroughly enjoyed the Safety for Sea Forum. I think SQE Marine is to be commended on organising these events. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to bring people together. Huge numbers of delegates are giving up their time to attend these events. And it's a good opportunity to discuss the issues that are of concern to the industry of the day. It's an honour and a privilege for us to participate in this, and I look forward to doing so again in the future.